Let's talk about fireplaces. Fireplaces have been New Zealand's traditional heating method for years. When you grew up, you probably had a fireplace in your house. Modern fireplaces, though, are sealed units to better control combustion and properly flue the smoke. If your property is less than 2 hectares and you're wanting to put a log burner in, a traditional fireplace, you need to make sure that you comply with the national environmental standards. So emissions of less than 1.5 grams per kg and efficiency of at least 65%. There are other conditions around the place in New Zealand if you want to put these fires in that are more stringent than these criteria, and that's the Bay of Plenty, Hawke's Bay, Nelson, Canterbury and Central Otago, where rules are stricter. There are 4 main types of burners that are available. You've got ultra low emission burners. These are called ULEBs. They're a new technology designed for installation where you can't put in other burners because there are rules around it. They are installed in clean air zones and they are highly efficient. Low emission burners are quite common too. These have been around since the early 2000s and they burn wood or pellets. They are not able to be banked down overnight and therefore the clean air zones are not allowing them to go in and they're being phased out. Rural models, these are permissible only by having a property which is larger than 2 hectares. They have a better overnight burn capability because you can bank it down, which means the farmer can get up in the morning and can open it up again and have a nice warm fire. Open fires, well, as you can probably imagine, they are still a bit of a no-no now and are generally being phased out of New Zealand as they're very poor performers. Pellet fires. These can be freestanding or they can be fitted into an existing fireplace or custom built. They make for cheap and clean fuel for the fire, but they can be noisy with an auger feeding the pellets. And most of these fires have a fan in it, which can also be heard. Compared with log burners, the flues are normally smaller and the fires are more efficient with sustainable benefits, as the pellets are made from sawmill waste, which is a renewable resource. Gas fires, though, these are fireplaces which are generally built in and are flued, but they do burn non-renewable resource. In the North Island, it's natural gas, and the South Island is LPG. Some parts of North Island have LPG as well. LPG is twice the price of natural gas, so it can be a very expensive form of energy depending on where you are. If you use these extensively, you could suck through a bottle, 45 kg bottle, which is one of the large bottles, in a week, no problem at all. So not the most sustainable thing to use. Gas heaters, remember these from your student days when you had one of these in the room? You'd chuck your 9 kg gas bottle in there and you get 3 litres of water out of it. Quite dangerous because you get nitrogen dioxide and carbon monoxide. Both are combustion products and both are dangerous. They're invisible, have no odour or taste. Carbon monoxide deprives the body of oxygen, leading to impaired thinking and reduces your alertness and ultimately can kill you. So putting these inside a room, like your student days, and not having the window open is a massive no-no. So we strongly recommend you don't ever have these inside. The last form of spot heating that I want to talk about is electric underfloor. Electric underfloor is cheaper than a hydronic system as it's just electric tiles. They do work well if used infrequently and in bathrooms where they typically have a heavy floor covering such as thick carpets or thin timber finishes. So if you have hydronic heating in your house, maybe you want to consider just using electric in the bathrooms only, just to give you that extra quick control up and down. They are quite expensive to run, at least 3 times what a heat pump would be for a hydronic underfloor system. But by having them in the bathrooms, it does mean that you don't have to run a hydronic system for the rest of the year, and you can have it nice and warm if you want to in the fringe months when maybe the hydronic system isn't on. Let's look at the comparative running costs of common spot heating systems. Let's look at the fuel costs first. This is dollars per kilowatt hour. Remember, a high wall heat pump for your lounge could be 3, 4, 5 kilowatts. We're just going to look at it for a single kilowatt. The more kilowatts you have, the more you're going to spend. So a log burner, 17 cents a kilowatt. For an ultra low emission burner, an open fire is 20 cents, pellet fire is 15, gas fire is 24 for LPG, an electric fan heater is 25 cents, electric night store is 16 cents because of the lower electricity cost overnight, and a heat pump is the cheapest overall at 8 cents. Now why don't we compare this with the capital cost? How much does it cost to buy one of these units? And I'm going to assume that we've got a 9 kilowatt unit that we're going to purchase. A log burner is $4.5 grand. An open fire, 10, pellet fire, 9, a gas fire is 11, electric fan heater, you might have to buy a few of them for this to get up to 9 kilowatts, $500 total. Electric night store, again, several of these, totaling $3,000 for 9 kilowatts. versus a heat pump at $3,500. So the heat pump is relatively low cost and also low cost to run.